Hello and welcome back to the channel, folks, to the Mountains of Morn, and appropriately for the name of the map, we're going to have the Ogre Kingdoms facing off against Grand Cathay, a domination battle for multiplayer. I know some of you like the land battles better, but you're going to see some really fun and clever play here from the Ogres. People are always bashing on the Ogres for being stupid, right? But are Ogres really stupid? And I'll explain to you why that, in fact, Ogres must have a very high IQ. So check out the Ogre army here. They're gonna have some lead belchers, and there's some nobblers and stuff pushing forward towards the first capture point. You may have noticed that there were no leaders there, and we'll discuss why. There is actually the leaders in domination mode. You don't have to pick an actual lord. And so the leader of the army is actually this hunter on the Stonehorn creature here. What do they call it? Stonehorn monster. I don't remember what they call it. There's another one over here. These units have stalk. Just crazy. That is a huge critter to be able to use stalk, so Cathay cannot see it at the moment, and it's moving up the flanks. So Cathay has deployed its army in a very yin-yang friendly formation here, with all of the yang units surrounding the yin units, and we're going to have crane gunners for range, which not a terrible pick against the Ogres if they can put them to good use, but the problem with this whole yin-yang formation for Cathay during a domination battle is you actually do need to do some spreading out. But if you look at it right now from the viewpoint of Cathay, all they can see is the Ogre forces right here in front of them. So they think, we don't really need to spread out. They can't see this hunter, and they have no idea what's about to go down here. Now, there's already some Saber Tusk pack coming in for the Ogres. I love the pick of Saber Tusk pack. They're kind of like flesh hounds for corn. They're very powerful. Let's watch for the moment where this unit becomes unhidden. It threw a javelin in there, but somehow didn't get seen. There goes another javelin. It is still hidden. Still hidden, and there it goes. It can finally be seen. So this thing didn't become visible until it was right on top of the enemy army, and it just crushes these crane gunners. So this was just some utterly brilliant play here by the Ogres in terms of like getting in an awesome ambush, and they timed it perfectly with these Saber Tusk pack. They come threading the needle here straight through to the peasant archers and avoiding the Jade Warrior halberds, leaving the Cathay army in just utter disarray here early on. And so a really excellent ploy. And now out of the Vanguard deploy, here came Nobbler Trappers right before the capture points are going to become active. And these Nobbler Trappers are also a stealth unit, so they won't be able to be seen by the enemy. So that is going to be some really cool stuff there, because he can hold those points. The enemy may not know that he still has units there, and they kind of run into a trap. So this is potentially going to give him a triple capture right off the bat. Now, Cathay is not real pleased about what's going on, and so they summoned in the Big Daddy. They've got a Terracotta Sentinel on the way in. This is a very powerful unit, though it would probably be hard-pressed to take out two Stonehorns. The problem for the Terracotta Sentinel is that it can't catch Stonehorns. They're at speed 76. It is only at 48. And the missile damage of the Stonehorns is actually anti-large. So the Terracotta Sentinel is in a bad place here. Cathay thought they could bring it in to defend, and actually it's not going to work out. Meanwhile, lead belchers, which can be problematic at times, it would have been in a bad shape at range against the lead belchers, or against the crane gunners, are now absolutely unleashing lead fury all over Cathay's troops. And lead belchers will cause tremendous damage to lines of infantry like this, and that's exactly what they're doing. So Cathay is just off to an absolutely rough start, and there is very little that they can do about it at the moment, because the engagements have gone so bad early on. They are now just behind the ball and are going to have to try really hard to make up for it. There's a triple cap on by the Ogres, and Cathay is just attempting to even get units into first capture point, but the Nobblers have done a really good job of holding them up, while the lead belchers just continue to pour in fire, giving very little care whether they kill the Nobblers as well. And why should they? Because Ogre's gonna be Ogres. Here comes some Iron Fist coming around the corner to make life a little bit more miserable there. You can see those trappers are now hidden after making the capture, and it worked out beautifully. Look at this. Peasant Horsemen thinking they get an easy capture, but the Nobbler trappers are there to contest it. Cathay goes up basically 1,000 to nothing on victory tickets right off the bat here. Or sorry, the Ogres go up 1,000 to nothing on Cathay, and the Cathay player just calls it quits. You know, you never know when you can come back in these games, but to be fair, it would have been very difficult because Cathay would have had to just sit there and save up enough supplies to try and call in enough troops to push this back. Basically, what happened here is that Cathay, these battles can be turned around, but if you lose a ton of troops, not so much. Like, those are really difficult to turn around. It's because you can't summon a whole army at once. So you do have to be somewhat careful in these battles to not get your opening army beat up too badly, too quickly, because it can set you back so hard that you can almost never make up for it. So he was down a triple cap by 1,000 points, and he would only be able to summon basically one unit at a time. He had Stonehorn monsters right in his summoning area, so the only thing he could do is maybe sit there for a minute or two and save enough supplies to summon multiple units, but then by that point you'd be down 2,000 or 3,000 tickets, and then could you pull off the triple capture? So some people might be like, well, the Cathay player shouldn't have conceded defeat so early. Yeah, it was pretty much over. It was pretty much over. There was no coming back from that. So as long as they conceded defeat, I would have had, like, if I was the Cathay player there, I would have had to admit a GG, because holy crap, that was a really well-built ogre army, and I really like that. The double stock Stonehorn with the lead belchers, really nice play by the ogres. Really tough break for Cathay. I'm not sure Cathay is a great faction in domination as it is. I think they're a little better in land battles. But, you know, that whole yin-yang thing is a big piece of their army mechanic, and it's difficult to pull off in small groups very effectively. It's not to say it can't be done, but I think it's difficult. So in any case, GG to both players. Appreciate the ogre player for sending this in to me. If you all want to send me replays, you can go on to my Discord server and put them in the Warhammer replays section. You can upload them there, or you can send them to me directly at airtotalwar@gmail.com. We'll continue to cover online replays. I've got more coming, and we'll keep the multiplayer coverage coming. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more action in Total War Warhammer 3 soon.